My name's Kurt Johnstone. You're watching On The Trowel. In this video I want to show you the basics of how to use a handboard and trowel, and a few little advanced things as well. A few little things that will make you more efficient if you're already a plasterer. Let's just start right at the very beginning. If you've got a handboard that has been used, it'll have a slight build-up. Now the reason I'm telling you that is because when there's a bit of a build-up on your tools, that's porous. If it was just brand new fresh metal, there's no issues. But as soon as you get a build-up, a little bit of plaster built up, it becomes a porous background. And when you put your nice fresh mix of plaster on that, the background will suck the moisture out of the plaster. So what you always do before you start is damp your tools down. You don't want a layer of water on the surface. The plaster will just slide straight off. Yeah, I'll show you. When there's a layer of water on the surface, that's what happens. To get around that, that has now been primed. That's ready to start plastering with. Let's just assume that you're taking out the bucket. I'll show you different techniques for getting off the spot board and stand in a minute. But let's just start with the bucket. So, put a dollop of plaster on your handboard. Did you notice that I did a little wiggle? Like that. That creates a little bit of suction underneath the plaster. Now what happens is, once you've done that, it sticks. Okay, this is really important. That sticks there. Now if you hold it on the side, it will start to slide. It'll stay there. It won't go anywhere, right? Now the first thing that you want to learn is to get that onto there. Lads, always try and start scooping like this, and the fingers are going in it, and they're pushing it off the end. Watch the technique. See the little wobble again? Watch the technique. Okay? This moves, this stays still. Now, it's the same for the other way. If you want to put it on up the wall, you need to go that way. If you're going to come down the wall, if you're doing the tops, then you're going to do it that way. So you practice doing that first. Full scoop, back scoop. Notice how there's a little bit left on the trowel. Just wipe it off from the board. Now you might not need all that much, so then you need to take half of it. You don't cut it and slice it in half. If you do that, then the other half can potentially start slipping down. Okay? What you actually do is, when you want to take a smaller portion off, is you squash it onto the board. I'll do that in slow motion for you, so you can see what's going on. I'm squashing it onto the board. And I'm making sure that the trowel comes into contact with the end of the board as I come off. You can hear it. Tell you what, coming closer, you can hear it. Yeah, that noise. What you want to do is try and keep the stuff in the centre of the board as best as possible. So if it starts spreading all out and there's bits over here and bits over here, yeah, just go round it all up, put it back in the centre, one bit there. You can rotate this to get it into better positions, okay? So if it's there now, it doesn't make sense for me to take it that way because I've got a bit here that'll drop off. So it makes sense to spin that round and take it there. Okay, the stuff's here. If I go that way now, well look, I'll just show you. If I take that now and try and take some off there, I'll probably drop some off here, you know. It's clinging a bit. There you go. So if it's there now, I'll just spin it round. That makes sense? Okay, right, stay with me. Now, little advanced tip for some of the fellas that have been doing this a while and they know that. Let me just show you something else. When you want to get more efficient and you want to get more plaster on the wall, the more you can load this up, the less trips you've got to go back into your spot and stand or back into your bucket. So the more gear you can get on this, the more efficient you are. But there's a limit. There's a limit to how much you can do, because if I try and squash this now, watch this, if I try and take off a little bit now, that will end up falling off. So that's the problem you get when you load your board up too much. So the way to get around that, little bonus tip for you, let's load it up again. Little bonus tip for you is take it, you'll see me do this in all my videos really, is take it off the front. Give it a little wobble. I'm not going to slide over, I'm going to take a bit there. And I'll go round. Okay, because as you take it there, it pushes the stuff out wide across the board, so then you want to keep rotating it so you don't get any spilling off the edges. Now before we carry on with the video, what's my famous saying? Take a little bit and go in neat. That's all I ever say when I'm plastering. Look at them for a t-shirt. Do you like that? Excuse the fat belly. If you like these are now live on the store. Apparently, if you wear one of these, you become 50% better at plastering. It actually improves your skill. Okay, I've known of fellas to wear 3 of them at once on top of each other, and they basically become like the best plasterer in the world for that day. Click on the store if you want one. Now, collecting the material onto your handboard is done like this. You want to be efficient. So when you come over here, you don't want to be putting this on the floor because it'll get all crap stuck all over the bottom of it. So I've got to get that onto there, but I've got this in my hand. The best place to put this is use this little piggy under here and hook that under there out of the way, okay? Use your board, keep the bucket still whilst you scoop some out, because sometimes, you know, this will be moving around and you're trying to get it, so. And he lives under there whilst you do it, and you're good to go. Using a spot and stand is a lot more efficient, right? This is quicker. So my dad always used to tell me off taking it out of the bucket, it's too slow. This is more efficient. I'll show you, there's 2 ways. The old school way of doing it is like this. They would literally scoop it up like that off the board. That's how my dad used to do it. That really, I don't like that way at all. I never really do that. It's an option, but this is how I prefer to do it. Come along, you've got your gear. I will just take a little bit and slide it off, straight off the end, like that. What you don't want to be doing is, some guys will take it off like this, yeah? That plaster there will dry out if it's left too long. It'll stay quite wet in a big pile, but this will dry out if it's left too long. So I tend not to do that. I'd much rather not leave it spread thin on the board. Does that make sense for you? What you find is most fellas learn how to do the job. They're taught how to be a plasterer, a bricklayer, a carpenter, a joiner, whatever. They learn all them skills and they're very good at it. What they don't get taught is, or what they usually don't get taught, is how to bring in leads, how to actually get the phone ringing, how to get the jobs coming in. Right? That's where the sponsors of this video come in. 7 Marketing Agency. These guys, they're like us. They understand exactly what we're trying to accomplish as tradesmen, right? And they've put together a few little things to help us out. So 7 Marketing Agency will build you a website. They will also, if you want them to, set you up a professional email address and they can take care of all of your social media for you. That's massive to get all these things in one place, under one roof, one person to deal with. They understand as well that cash flow can sometimes be an issue for tradespeople when they're starting out and they're trying to bring work in. They get it, they understand it. You can pay them monthly with 0% interest. When you log on a website and you click and the wheel of death starts spinning, if that wheel of death spins more than twice, I'd click off. Right? These guys understand that, so they build rapid websites. You can click on the link in the description, use my little code, give you some discounts, and as well, if you're quite snazzy, if you're quite up to date like all the young uns, you can just scan this QR code that's on screen now. Okay, guys, it's been a pleasure. See you on the next one.